what's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. All right, fellas, let's get into this week's movie review. It's here. The MCU is here. We will be discussing Fantastic Four First Steps. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
We are at the third and final movie of the year from Marvel. The 37th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The second official reboot of Fantastic Four movies. And it is also the first movie in Phase 6, which is the final phase of the multiverse saga. Lots of things it is. Of course, Fantastic Four, published by Marvel Comics. First appearance, the Fantastic Four #1, November 1961. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Now, very quickly, I need to mention the history of these film rights because they've been crazy. So, 1986, Stan Lee sells the rights to Fantastic Four to German producer Bernd Eichinger from Constantine Film. Rugs, you know Constantine Films. They made all those shit films back in the 80s, remember?
Sure.
Right? In 1992, Eichinger produces a low-budget movie made by Roger Corman. They hired the cast. They filmed this thing. They told the cast, this is a real movie. This is going to come out in theaters. They lied to them. They had no intention of releasing this. It was just made to retain the rights before they ran out.
What did they do with it? Did it ever get released on anything?
It leaked on YouTube years later, and there is a fantastic
years later. I don't think it leaked on years later from the 90s.
From 86, of course, or 92 years later.
Lots of years later.
Lots of years later. It eventually does come out on YouTube. There's a fantastic documentary about the whole thing that somebody put together that you should check out. But yeah, I think it was passed around like VHS tapes at one point. Somebody found them. Rugs,
any of you watched it?
Did you ever see this, Rugs?
Yes, I did watch it.
Right?
The original Roger Corman one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
It was like a geek thing that you heard about and you didn't know if it was real, and it turned out to be real.
It's not good.
It's not good. I think you could have found it at conventions, at Comic-Cons. People had bootleg VHS.
I know. I just watched it illegally on you could find it on illegal downloads everywhere.
Yeah.
But it cost $1 million. And I'll say that it looks like it cost at least $3 million, which I'll give them that.
Good. It is bad.
The people that were in the movie tried. The guy who plays Dr. Groom is overacting like a lot.
Yeah.
But and it's kind of laughable, but at the same time, it's somewhat comic accurate, the costumes.
Yeah. I mean, it was 92.
The Thing is comic accurate, like to a degree to what the money could afford. So, they tried. But, this was never intended to be a real movie. They just put this out.
I feel bad for those people who thought that was a real movie when they were making it. I'd definitely check it out. It's a fun watch. So, during the 90s also.
You've seen it, Imran?
I've seen it, and I've seen the documentary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. It's a fun watch. Is that really what you're saying?
It's so bad it's good. It's part of history here.
All right.
Because also in the 90s, this guy partners with 20th Century Fox. They get distribution rights, and that helps him keep the rights to the Fantastic Four. So by 2005, you get the first Tim Story movie. Of course, that's the Ian Gruffle, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis set. Doesn't do well. 2007, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Also doesn't do well. But a lot of people grew up with these movies, and it's their childhood movies.
Well, did they do that poorly? What was their box office?
I don't know if doesn't do well is the right way. I think it's just they weren't very well received critically, but
yeah.
Let's just look up the box office real quick.
I think that the feeling was that they were kind of little light.
Yeah, it was made $333 million worldwide,
okay.
154 domestic for that one. For the first Fantastic Four released in theaters, and then Silver Surfer did 301 worldwide, 131. So yeah, a little light, but
yeah,
people did see them.
Consistent.
It wasn't
both
huge
times.
hits.
Yeah,
I think it's just the more critically, no one really liked them.
Then, in an effort to still keep the rights, in 2015, we get Fan-Fantastic, the Josh Trank one.
Which is actually worse than the other two.
Which is Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Jamie Bell. What did that one do, Anthony?
This one did 167 million worldwide, only 56 million.
Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, that one really
It's one of the worst movies you'll ever see.
Yes. And we have a whole episode about it. Go back in the feed. I think we did a great breakdown.
Did we review it right after it came out?
Yes. We almost did like a what the fuck happened to this movie.
Immediately?
Yes. Because that is a movie you could see in the middle where the studio steps in and they're like, hey, get the fuck out of here. We're going to finish this.
Yeah, Kate Mara is wearing 3 or 4 different wigs.
Like in the same scene sometimes.
Yeah.
So by March 2019, Walt Disney buys 21st Century Fox for billions of dollars. So then they get back the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men, and at San Diego Comic-Con 2020, Feige confirmed this movie, Fantastic Four, we're coming to the MCU. And now, 2025, 39 years after selling the rights away, Marvel gets to make the first Fantastic Four movie how they want to make it. It's kind of a crazy fucking story, these film rights. Rotten Tomatoes, this movie sitting at 87% tomato meter, critic rating, 93% audience rating. Very good numbers. This movie budget estimated $200 million. And so we have a great box office battle going on. What does it do? Opening weekend domestic, $118 million. Okay. Currently, worldwide, it's sitting at $218 million. You had another $100 million international. Now, that 118, best MCU opening since Deadpool and Wolverine, is the same opening as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's the biggest opening for a Fantastic Four movie. It's the biggest opening for all 4 of the leads in the movie, which we'll get to. It's only the 4th movie to crack $100 million on opening weekend this year. It's the 4th best opening domestic behind Lilo Stitch, Minecraft, and Superman. And I also found out it's rare for 2 movies to open to over $100 million in July. The last time that happened was 2022. So it does open less than Superman domestically, but it opens bigger than Superman internationally. I thought that was very interesting. And then the other thing I noticed, the audience tracking, they were saying fewer families were going to see this than Superman. But the fact that it opened less domestically than Superman and higher internationally than Superman, that is very interesting.
Also, I think the opening is pretty solid given that you already had in this month Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman come out. So
yes, the momentum kind of held.
There might have been some audience fatigue, so the fact that they're doing as well as they did, I think, is good.
Right. And Superman now has crossed 500 million worldwide. I think Jurassic Park is like at 760 million or something, which is ridiculous. It's crazy. So they're still making money. Fantastic Four First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman of WandaVision, and from a screenplay by Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, and the team of Jeff Kaplan, Ian Springer. I will note there's 4 writers on this movie. Okay, just for what it's worth. 4 writers on the movie. Starring, of course, Pedro Pascal, who is in every motherfucking thing, as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Eben Moss-Bacharach as Ben Grimm, the Thing, Joseph Quinn, Johnny Storm. You have Ralph Ineson playing Galactus, Julia Garner playing Shala Bal, Silver Surfer, Natasha Lyonne. I love Natasha Lyonne. It's Rachel Rosman, Paul Walter Hauser as Harvey the Mole Man, Elder. You have Sarah Niles as Lynn Nichols, their kind of chief of staff. Mark Gatiss playing TV show host Ted Gilbert. And Matthew Wood as the voice of Herbie. Matthew Wood also provided the voice for General Grievous in the Star Wars over there. And that's mainly your main cast there. Anthony.
Yes.
What happens in this? What is this? PG-13, 1 hour, 53. Nice runtime. 1 hour, 55. Sorry. Fantastic Four First Steps. What happens?
Well, this is set in an alternate Earth, apparently Earth 828 in 1964. And you're dropped right into it. Fantastic Four have been around for a few years now. They're the main heroes of this universe. And while they've been heroing around, what suddenly appears is the Herald of Galactus, Silver Surfer, who says the Earth has been deemed to be consumed by Galactus. So the Fantastic Four have to figure out how to save their world while also dealing with the fact that they are having a child.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nice and straightforward. The repo man for Earth shows up.
That's
I'm
right.
taking your truck, bitch. Not quite like that. But Anthony, this is great. You didn't do an instant reaction. You were busy. You were traveling. Went to San Diego. So I am dying to find out. Let's start with you. Overall thoughts. The movie ended. How are you feeling? What do you think?
Well, first off, I did see this on the Thursday. I saw it at 10 o'clock showing at an AMC in San Diego, the same theater that we saw Deadpool Wolverine.
Packed, I assume.
Pretty packed audience. Reminded me why I'm now in Alaho, because two things. One, overall, like very enthusiastic crowd. One, the theater did not have the AC on.
Oh, no.
So it had to have been 90% humidity.
Wow.
It was freaking hot.
Wow. That's
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Two, I did get to see lensations. That's not a drawback.
My balls
but-
was hot.
Yeah, my balls were very hot. I had to get a Red Bull because I was a 10 o'clock showing, which meant it was midnight normally where I would see it, and I was very tired, and I just traveled that day. But anyways, a second thing, 2 rows in front of us was this guy who was either mentally handicapped or on drugs.
Oh, man.
Because throughout the movie, he would just stand up and like stretch and like it looked like he was having an awakening throughout each of these scenes where he would look up and start like standing on his toes.
Okay.
And then would sit down.
Wow.
And we called security on him a couple times, but they didn't catch him in the moment while they're in the movie.
Wow.
But then at one point, about halfway through the movie, he left and never came back.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I don't understand why the people behind him didn't
say anything.
Didn't go to security. But yeah.
How did you report this dude? You got up
He
and
was
left?
doing it during the previews, and my buddy went up and said something. Security looked at him, and then they were like, "Hey man, you good?" And then he sat down, and then he did it again. So I went over to be like, "Hey, there's at least multiple people reporting him." I was like, "Hey, this guy looks like he's on drugs. Something's going on." Security then came by, told him to sit down, and he sat down for a while. But probably then 20 to 30 minutes into the movie, he started doing it again. And he was fucked up.
Was it during moments in the movie or just randomly?
It seemed to be pretty random.
Okay, that's weird.
So there was that. Luckily, he wasn't in my direct line of vision.
Okay, so a little
distracting. Just annoying. It was like, dude, what the fuck?
Sure. I hate that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is why I go to the Alamo now.
Yeah.
The 2 times I've had to see movies for the podcast, I've dealt with people that I didn't want to be around.
Yes, people are fucking crazy out there in the
That's
theater.
every time I go to the theater.
Apparently for Ruggs, it's every time. Yes.
Well, Ruggs is holding hands with the guy with his shirt off crying during, what was that, Thunderbolts?
Yeah. Crying a lot.
Elena.
What did I think of the movie? Despite all of that, I had a good time with the movie. I thought it was pretty well made. I thought the production design was really well done. You got transported to a new universe. I think Matt Shackman is a really good director in terms of creating an environment where you get lost in the environment. He did WandaVision where you get lost in those TV shows. Now he's doing this. I think he's good at that. Overall, I liked the movie. I thought it was a very solid entry from the movie. I liked that it was really focused.
Yeah.
Ruggs said this on his instant reaction, and it was exactly what I was thinking. I don't want to compare this too much to Superman.
Yeah.
But inevitably you're going to. And Superman, while I liked it, was so scatterbrained and so fast.
Yeah.
And this movie was like, let's boil it down to 2 things.
Right.
A family dealing with a child, the world being threatened.
Cosmic threat.
And then the child being directly tied to the world threat. Let's just focus on this. That's all we're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So I liked that it was really focused. I thought it was really well made. I liked my buddy Rex, who was there. He thought this was awesome because it really hit for him the setup of having to sacrifice a child.
Mm-hmm.
And, would you sacrifice your child to save the world? And they were like, no, but we'll still save. We're not going to turn our back on the world either, right? Dealing with all that. I thought the family dynamics were really well done. I don't have a ton of to complain about in the movie. The only thing I would say is I do struggle with, I thought everyone did well in their role. I don't know that I'm sold, maybe because Pedro Pascal is just overexposed.
You've seen him in 12 movies this year already.
In TV shows. Yeah. I don't know that I'm sold on him as Reed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best role that utilizes what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought everyone else was great. I thought Sue Storm as Vanessa Kirby was really well done. So overall, I thought this was a really well-made Marvel movie, and I think they are two for two now in terms of the last two, right?
Yeah.
Brave New World sucked.
Yeah.
No one liked that really. But these last two, I think they did really well. And if they can keep this kind of momentum where they're making just really good self-contained stories, but then also teasing things at the end, like they might be onto something. I don't know if they're going to get to the heights they used to get to, but I like that this movie, you didn't have to do a ton of research. Anyone could watch this. Anyone could pick it up.
You don't have to know nothing.
Very straightforward story, well done, and they, Galactus was done well and everything. So, yeah.
Nice. Ruggs, theater experience, opening thoughts.
So, unlike Superman, I went to God damn it, what time did I go? I went to like a 6:45 showing. And full.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Not only full.
It makes a difference.
But I don't think it was 100% full because there was a group of about 10 kids that you could tell did not have tickets because they were looking for when you got your ticket, you know your seat.
Yeah, you know exactly where
you
you
go right to your seat. You don't look around.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers were you're sneaking out of another movie coming in this one. And I'm like, all right, you fucks. Like, someone's going to come and you're in there going to be in their seat. And you're going to have to get up. It's all going to unfold in front of me trying to watch this movie. And that's exactly what happened. And I knew it.
Son of a bitch.
And I was like, fuck you. And then they went and tried to find another seat. I'm like, no, don't let them sit there. They just got caught. You fucks. There was about 10 of them. And I just wanted them all to die. I wish I had an Uzi. I would have just destroyed them. But anyway, hey, maybe they, who knows why they're kids. I used to do the same shit. Not with 10 kids. I always went solo. Anyway, what the fuck? So yeah, the movie happened. I saw it on a nice big screen, not an IMAX though. I wish I would have paid for, but IMAX was sold out.
Okay. So
it was hard to find a ticket to this movie, but granted, I bought the ticket on like the day before. So I go sit down, watch the movie. And for the first time in a long time, I was smiling during a Marvel movie.
Wow.
For the first time in a long time, I was like, oh, this is a director that actually fucking has a vision and is directing moments that are culminating and paying off. And so I actually do I think it's a perfect movie? No, I actually like this movie though. I think that there is, even though I like that it's got a short runtime, I think it could have used maybe another 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think it rushes through some things real quickly, but I think overall everybody performed well. Everybody did their job well. It was comic accurate Galactus. That's always good. The retro futuristic tone, the alternate universe, all of these decisions that they made sense because it's an alternate universe. It's a different timeline. Things are different. Shala Bal instead of Norin Rad. All those things kind of can make sense in this universe.
Yeah. And
so I think all of that was brilliant. Everything looked pretty good, except for the baby. The baby was the biggest CGI mess.
It's like Squid Game 3. There's probably these CG babies.
CG baby. Just there's real babies.
Just
you can get a real baby.
But the thing holding the baby is a CGI Rockman. Like that's where it gets a little dicey. You know?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was good.
Wow. Timestamp this shit. Jesus.
I felt like now is it perfect? No. But the thing that I appreciated is that they built all of these moments. They put enough time so when things pay off, they pay off well.
Yeah.
Shala Bal could have been developed better.
Mm-hmm.
So she paid off better when she does her turn against Galactus.
Yeah.
Spoilers, everybody.
Yeah.
But you know that if you read Silver Surfer, that's what Silver Surfer does.
Yeah.
It just, certain things could have been built a little bit better, but other than that, I feel like it worked. It worked as a film.
Yeah.
I didn't come out of it going, like maybe Sue Storm is a little overpowered in this movie, but at least she's exerting all of her strength to save her child.
Yeah.
So I could make that leap. So you see all of these things where they're stretching things, they at least there's a reason there's something you can give of yourself. You can give that little extra inch so you can let it slide or let yourself enjoy it.
There's verisimilitude.
Yeah, I think that's important. And there wasn't the kind of Marvel humor that they usually have that's forced.
Very toned down.
They had it. So there was comic relief and there was cute stuff, but it was never at the expense of the story. It was always in service of the story.
Yeah.
So they didn't undercut any of their dramatic moments with comedy. They didn't have like a snark, everybody be snarky. Reed Richards was almost an autistic level guy.
Yeah.
He was like, even at one point, Sue Storm is like, the way you act hurts me or something.
Yeah,
I don't mean
that's a great
to.
conversation they have, and where he just
So he's like, he can't help himself. This is just who he is.
Yep.
So Pedro Pascal may be miscast a little bit, but he did the best he could.
Yeah,
I think. And I wanted to not like this movie. I wanted to be like, I hate Marvel because Marvel's been a big disappointment, and I feel like that they could never make a movie that wasn't, and they even did it in this movie where they did the gender swap and they swapped out Nora and Red. But I think at least they did it for so they gave Johnny Storm someone to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
And gave him played up that angle. I think Mole Man didn't get enough set up. That would have been a little bit better if they set Mole Man up a little bit better. That would have paid off a lot.
There was a lot of things that were cut out of the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot cut out of this movie, but I think overall it works well. The one thing that really bugged me, and I know that you're gonna think I'm an asshole for even mentioning this, but I heard someone say or read it on Twitter comparing what's the name of the girl who plays Susan Storm?
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby is Benedict Cumberbatch with blonde hair.
Oh no!
And I couldn't unsee that the whole time.
That's not true, is it, baby?
I don't know.
I don't want to look at
it. I can kind of see it.
Don't ruin Vanessa Kirby for me, fuckers.
So I know he ruined Vanessa Kirby for me, but I think she did a great job. Absolutely fantastic.
Wow. Ruggs liked the Marvel movie, Anthony. Did we hear that? Everybody heard that, right?
I did like it.
This is a momentous
Look,
day in history.
It's not perfect. It could have been. It could have had some more ballsy stuff.
Sure.
The stuff that happens around the black hole makes no sense.
Kind of does.
Yeah. But I mean, pretty soon we're going to get Ruggs saying Marvel is back.
Oh, we'll talk about that. That's the big question. So I saw this movie twice.
Whoa.
Yeah. Thursday night in IMAX, 9:15. Full theater, great time. The jokes were hitting.
Where'd you go?
AMC Village Crossing.
Okay.
And a big applause at the end, like bigger than Superman when I saw the Superman.
Yeah, there was applause here. Yeah, absolutely.
Big applause, big people are loving it. And then the second time, I think I was really high. I don't know why I did this. I saw it in 3D just for shits and giggles. I was like, let me go see this in 3D. Not a lot of people in that theater, but I wanted to see the Avatar trailer in 3D, and that was stunning. And the 3D was fun. As you can see how there's moments where 3D could be fun. But I really, again, like you guys, I had a big smile on my face the whole time. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Had the same kind of buzz after watching Superman as this. But all the things you said, I appreciated this being simple, straightforward story, like a Fantastic Four comic book run. The production design is phenomenal. That's the smartest thing they could do, is set the whole thing on Earth 828. And we were all wrong, because Earth wasn't going to make it out of here alive, and it does. And I'm grateful because I want to see more of this world. It's fantastic. I love the music, the theme. I've been listening to it on Spotify, and it's just like perfect. It matches the movie as much as Danny Elfman themes matches Batman, or the John Williams Superman, or the Hans Zimmer Wonder Woman. I would put this up there with it. You hear it and you get it, and it fits the movie so good. And I love the cast. I actually thought Pedro Pascal, I was like, God damn, this motherfucker can play anything. This guy always pull it off. Like, I bought it The Thing was a highlight for me. I thought he was hilarious. Eben Moss-Bacharach, I thought, played kind of a great low-key thing. Like, he underplayed it, but the visual effects, the detailed expression in his face was fantastic. Galactus was just fucking awesome to see this on screen, practically. And I love it's a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't say he was practical. Come on.
Well, no,
CGI.
They put him in a suit and shot him kind of like a Godzilla movie with miniatures and shot him with cameras to insert him in. So he was there in that suit. You can tell that when he's walking that one shot, that's miniatures. So it's a little Interstellar. It's a little Godzilla. And the heart, I thought the heart was there and the humor worked and it wasn't overbearing. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of criticisms also. Maybe it could have been a little bit longer.
There's some silly shit in there, but I think that the movie does enough that you want to let it slide. Like moving the Earth to another that's a terrible idea.
But also all these ideas he was having, none of them really worked, right? They were all getting
they never
fucked
did
up.
it. But if they would have the Earth would be fucking done. There's no way. It's such an exact thing that the Earth is even allowed to survive in the environment that it's in right now.
Right.
Putting it somewhere else is else.
But don't you need another transporter to zip it? I didn't understand how it's going to reappear. Because when it did the egg, there's 2 transporters, right? 2 machines. Where's the other machine on the other side?
Yeah,
whatever.
Don't think about that.
Doesn't matter.
Stop thinking.
Doesn't matter. But I do love how the plans didn't work. And Galactus wasn't dumb. He was smart enough to just not step into the trap. I was like, damn, that's pretty good. But I loved that everybody had something to do. They were all useful. I think Shala Bell, her first introduction is fantastic. Just those lines, which is like, I herald.
Are you using the word fantastic on purpose?
I don't mean to, but it's gonna happen.
I did it too, but I did it on purpose.
I thought she did a great job, and maybe we could have used a little bit more. They do give you backstory. She is from Zenla. They toned down Johnny's kind of womanizing to make him actually smart, and he figures out something important. It's
that I don't get either. That whole thing that he figured out the language, I don't buy that for a second either.
It's just as crazy as Jimmy Olsen being a fucking ladies guy. Here's the thing. There are so many similar things in this with Superman that I was kind of wild.
There's a black hole.
There's a black hole.
There's a time jump. We drop in the middle of
him right in media res. There is a recorded alien message. The public turns on them at one point. And it goes on and on. It's kind of wild.
Well, the public turning on them is also, I wouldn't say it's completely dumb, but Reed doesn't have to tell the world that.
So that moment was
Reed doesn't have to tell the world that he didn't give up the child. He could have just said we didn't win.
I mean, I get it. They went through this huge thing and he's there and they put the cameras on him, but you fucking blurt out, by the way, he wanted the baby. We said no. What do you think is going to happen, bro? That he's stupid. He's the smartest man in the world, but I was like, why did you just blurt that out?
So if you want to look at a lot of these things, there are some fucking things that don't quite work.
This public turning back is a little more organic even than Superman, because that whole speech Sue gives with the baby is fantastic, and she gets them back on their side. And
I thought that was good. I like that Sue has a lot more to do.
Yeah.
But she's also, it's not like, and the critical drinker said this, and I agree, it's not at the expense of anyone else. So she just gets more to do, but it's not like, hey, she's the best. It's more just, hey, she's the only one that's a mom in this situation. And she's also got, a thing to say that will also convince the world that, hey, you would get it if you were in my position, but also we're not going to abandon you just because I'm having this child.
I love that line where she's like, I'm not going to sacrifice my baby for this planet, but I'm also not going to sacrifice this planet for my baby. It's like, fuck, that's pretty.
But so that's where the James Gunn movie doesn't do that. First of all, they give you a real reason to hate or turn on the Fantastic Four, which is that they chose the baby over everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
In Superman, they just find out that his dad made a recording that has nothing to do with Superman, really. They just make that decision. They
turn on him pretty quickly.
Then the way that it happens, it builds over days where you feel like the pressure. They're at the Baxter building and they're protesting on the bottom of it and they're listening to it. And she feels like she has to go down and say something. She can't take it anymore. So they build those moments because they take their fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people might say this movie's slow, but would you rather have a fast movie that doesn't really work, or a movie that moves a little slower where the things actually pay off.
Well, I think the biggest criticism I would have of this movie, besides the Pedro Pascal thing, and like we can debate that, but I think the biggest criticism, which is actually a good criticism, it's the fact that you guys have both said, hey, maybe this movie just needed be a little longer.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good criticism. That means, hey, we were liking what we were seeing on screen.
Yeah.
We just wanted a little bit more maybe of Shia LaBeouf, or maybe we wanted a little bit more of, Galactus's origin or something like that, right?
Sure.
Like, these are things where the movie has done a really good job and is really tight. And for the most part, it doesn't waste very much time. It is slower, right? But I think it's very focused. Whereas when we compare it to Superman, I think Superman sometimes we wanted to focus on the main characters, and those were the best parts. But then it would jump to monkeys on a computer, right? So, I don't want to compare both, but it is inevitable because both were released at the same time, and they have kind of this. They have a similar setup in terms of throwing you into the story.
It is crazy that there are really only two big action scenes in the movie, but they're both pretty stunning. And the stuff in the middle, they all feel earned. The stuff in the middle works. Let me ask you this. Did we get enough from the main four character-wise, did you think, or did that need a little bit more?
I feel like that, the Thing didn't really have a moment. I think that he had them talk to the girl or whatever. But as a character, that's all they really gave him to do.
I agree. I think of the four, the Thing actually probably got shafted the most, because you do have the tease of who he's going for.
Right.
But it is kind of a tough position to put the Thing in, because you're dealing with Galactus.
Right.
What is the Thing really going to do?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a role to play in any of it. He's not the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
He can't fly.
Yeah. The only powers that, like, stretching is not going to do anything. And that's why they smartly made it about his intellect.
Exactly.
Not about that.
Even when they did show him like stretching, like it was like a Spider-Man thing. Like it kind of worked. It wasn't super goofy looking.
But they really focused on how neurotic he is about solving problems.
Yeah. And his line is great, where he's like, I have to think of the worst thing possible to deal with it. I can't help it. That's just who I am. That conversation's great. And then when he's with the baby, and I know a lot of dads connected with this, so he's like, I don't want you to be like me. I know dads always want their son to be like you, like their father, but I got stuff wrong with me. Maybe you're better. The baby was crazy. I did not think it was going to be that important, and then that was going to be.
Well, I mean, if you do follow the comics, Franklin Richards is very important.
Yes, Franklin.
How do you like the childbirth in space?
Well,
like as it's happening,
let's talk about that whole sequence. That's my favorite part of the movie. I think is them going. It was just a lot of fun. It was crazy. And it was exciting.
Baby part, or the
whole thing from when they go to meet Galactus and then they got to run and get the
Would you rather have a baby on a spaceship or in the middle of a Squid Games tag game?
Both very awkward places to have a baby, that's for sure. Both no placenta floating in the air. I didn't see, but Ben was quick with the scissors to snip the umbilical cord.
He could hold the scissors fine.
Even before that thing she does where she's like, oh, you want to see the baby? Look, I'll just show you. And then just makes her belly invisible. I was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't even think about that. She can do that. This is wild. But that whole sequence of them running and then in the time warp and the lasers are bending and spinning and Johnny's got to figure out. And then when Sue is like, kill her, Johnny, she's trying to take your nephew. I was like, damn, she's not fucking around.
No, it was a good scene. I don't have the hyperbole. Like I didn't think they were fantastic, pun intended. I thought they were both really solid scenes, and I was really engaged with both of them. Not because of what they were showing on screen being all that crazy, but the character work they do to make you invested in what's happening. So what they're showing you is a chase scene in that, but you're invested because you know that you care about this family and that the family is not only the key to saving the earth, but that they want to take the baby. So they make it about the child, and they take a thing where it's a world-ending story, right?
Right.
Which we've seen dozens of times now in superhero movies.
Yeah.
But instead of it being just a world-ending story, it's about the villain wants to rip apart the baby from the family.
Yeah.
And they make it a family story. So now people with families, people with kids can immediately relate and go, I don't know shit about saving the world, but I know what I would do if my child was threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. It's not an action film. Mm-hmm. It's a movie that is more than an action film. It's kind of like an overall adventure film.
Yeah, it's a family adventure.
You can't measure it against an action movie because it's not like an action-packed film. That's why some people have heard some complaints that it's slow or it's boring or there's nothing really crazy going on. But yeah, like even the new Mission Impossible, which is all about action, still only had 2 major scenes, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you could also make that comparison. But I feel like we've had so many movies where the end of the world is coming. But this is the only one that in the recent like couple years that made it feel like you cared.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big deal. Like if you can do that in a movie, make people care, I think it helps a lot to endear yourself to the movie and be willing to put up with things that don't make sense and give it that extra. So does it.
I feel like this movie is less wacky and has higher stakes than Superman, which is wild to say. If you told me out of Superman Fantastic Four, which movie's going to be wackier, I wouldn't have picked Superman.
I don't even think that's going on a limb. That's for sure. This movie is much less wacky.
Yeah.
Which is, you're right. When you think about the main character is a guy that stretches.
Right. You would think this movie would be wacky.
And you've got a running joke in this is the Thing having a beard, a rock beard.
I loved his beard. I thought it looked great. And the little shot of him like using the grinder to fucking shape it off is fantastic. Lots of fun. I thought the beard looked good. He's like, oh, thank you. I think it looks good. I mean, him and Johnny's banter I thought was fantastic. They had great chemistry. Even though I don't know if he was there in a mocap suit.
We should spend a little time, just real quick, a minute or two here. What did you guys have talked about it a little bit, but what did you think of the way we handle Johnny? Because he's he's still womanizer, but he's much smarter than he's been portrayed in live action.
See, I liked it. I liked that he was self-aware in that line where he's like, I don't know, Johnny loves space, Johnny loves women, and now there's a crazy naked space woman, and Johnny's obsessed. It's really funny, but I was glad that he was smart, and he's like, I'm going to figure out this language. The little connection he has with her, I thought really worked, because you could tell she's trying to warn these fucking planets ahead of time. She doesn't want this to happen. And
I feel like I would have believed it more if Herbie was involved.
Oh, if he helped translate?
Yeah.
We had to build the crib.
They wanted so bad to give him that moment.
Yeah.
Even though it's implausible that Johnny Storm would be able to figure that out.
It's a different Johnny Storm. It's a smart. I thought Joe Quinn did a good job.
Yeah.
I do think it stretches the bounds of believability of what we know about Johnny Storm. If you have any interest in comics and follow him.
Right.
But I do think it was nice to see them try something with the character rather than just like making him the hot-headed, pun intended, womanizer of the group.
See, and you kind of have to update that, and they kind of did, right? It's weird now to do that for no reason.
Well, I don't think it's weird. I think it's just something we've already seen before.
And that's another thing. This whole plot has been done before without the baby,
right?
In another movie.
You're talking about Rise of Silver Surfer?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing with Galactus is that's the story. Is he's going to come and the Herald is going to come warn you and you got to fight him off. But
that's a crazy thing for Marvel to do. They're like, hey, we're going to make a brand new Fantastic Four movie, but we're going to do the exact story that of another movie that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
I was,
and it works.
It works. And I was impressed that they were able to give you this standalone movie. Like, we haven't seen the likes of this since I can't even remember, like a Iron Man or Captain America First Avenger, where it's just this story. And they really weren't setting anything up except for the post-credit scene, which we'll get into. But
this is the way to really, if they're going to, if they keep making these movies, which they will, this seems to me to be somewhat the formula. I mean, Thunderbolts worked well for me too. You have to do some research, right?
Yeah.
But when you actually watch that movie and this one too, they're very self-contained stories.
Yeah.
The post-credit scene is where they can connect it to other things, and that's fine. I think that's what you need to do. Is you need to make You need to focus on the story of the movie you have first. You can do all the connections in the post-credit scenes because that's where it's appropriate, but you got to make sure you make a good movie. And I think, as we're all talking about, I think they made a really solid film.
Also, including Superman. Like, when's the last time we had 3 really good superhero movies come out back to back? I can't remember the last time that's happened. So things are changing. Things are getting colorful, but they are. This is a course correction in the right way. And I was really happy. A lot of the choices. What else? What do we think of the beginning? Kind of, the other criticism is some people have said rushing through the origin kind of.
Yeah, I heard that people didn't understand what the powers were. Like, they were like, she's the invisible woman, but why can she make force fields?
What's with the force fields, right?
What is that?
Yeah.
They didn't understand the stretchy powers because they didn't really make that a thing until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of not getting what the powers were.
So they had John Malkovich, remember, was in the first trailer. He was going to play Red Ghost. He got cut. The beginning was going to be a scene with Red Ghost and those apes trying to steal the rocket. And Reed fights them off or whatever. So they just cut all that together into that quick montage. But I thought using the TV show was really smart as a platform to get that done and establish. And right away, the music kicks in. Everyone's saying thank you, Fantastic Four. And it gets you. I love that. I thought the beginning was great.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with it. I mean, you're talking to someone that's knows the origin, seen these movies. I don't need that. I don't need to be told that, and I also don't think the audience needs to be spoon-fed every time what the origin is.
It's not as ubiquitous as a Superman origin or Spider-Man origin, that everybody would know. I get that, but I thought they did a good job. You figure it out. You're like, oh, that's what they fucking do.
Yeah, they went to space. They got powers. They protect the Earth. They got 4, and they got their and then they have 4 distinct powers.
What you didn't like about the black hole thing, Ruggs? Made perfect sense. They tricked her.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a black hole. They tricked her and then they slingshot her.
The time dilation.
Yeah, she got stuck there for a little bit, bought her some time.
Yeah, but they were also in the same spot, so they would have also been dilated in time.
So some of the timing, is kind of weird. I'm not exactly sure how much time passes between certain things in this movie, but because the baby's still a baby, but
they could have been time dilated for years. That's how usually the black hole works.
Well, according
Star
to
Trek, anyway.
Interstellar, yes, that's like the Interstellar. But the fact that Reed has this FTL drive and he's got all these things and he can make all these things is a lot of fun. So he doesn't want to make the baby's crib. Hilarious. So at the end, again, let's talk about these plans. I love that the plans don't work. I said, oh shit, out loud when they were firing up all the transporters and it was working. And then you just see them start blowing up. I was like, oh shit. I should have seen fucking Shia LaBeouf coming. Didn't see that coming. And then
how long did it take them to make those things?
I don't know, but the whole world was involved.
Yeah, the whole world. The Fantastic Four has the Future Foundation, which has united the world.
That was nice. They put that in there. Oh, let's mention you get the shots of the Latvian person, not at any of these meetings. It's always empty, right? So talk about that. I like that little tease there. But then they're like, all right, well, if we can't move the planet, let's zap Galactus. We got to get him off the ship. We're going to use the baby as bait, and the fact that this is Sue's idea. You saw Reed wanted to say it, but he's like, no, we can't do this. And fucking Sue's the one. That's we got to use Franklin as bait. That was great. Because you would not think Sue would be the one to agree to this plan.
Yeah, they didn't. They tried to test him for powers and they couldn't find it.
And he's like,
Galactus is he's hiding it from you.
He hides his real set. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. Bro, I love all the Galactus scenes. His voice is perfect. The way he moved, he jumps off the fucking ship and sends a tidal wave.
Clever bugs.
Oh, it's so great. He's about to step on the line and he stops and he's like, I'm not that dumb. And he scans. The baby's over there now. And fucking gets the fucking baby too, which is wild. The baby is in Galactus'
He's got to have the most gentle hands ever to grab the baby by his hands.
What did you think about when he was stretching Reed? Isn't Reed supposed to be able to stretch even more than that? Not feel any pain?
I mean, you've got Galactus stretching around and running.
It is Galactus. And his clothes
He's got a world eater stretching him.
He's about to rip him in half. But Sue's sacrifice and her show of force, very impressive. And she can be that strong. I think, in the comics. But she does, she kills herself. She ends up exerting everything she has. And you get Silver Surfer doing the last bit to save him. And
so
then
that death, though, it doesn't really pay off because you feel like they do this whole thing and nobody dies. So she kind of fake dies.
So I thought, first, I was like, they're going to let fucking Sue die. They're actually going to kill her. I would have been.
No.
I would have been. That would have been
knew right
ballsy.
away she wasn't going to die. And that was their way of showing Franklin's powers.
Right. And then I'm like, the baby. So after I was like, they're not going to kill it. They're going to kill it. And then I'm like, oh, fuck the baby. And of course, the baby reaches out. You can't train a baby to do this, which is why it needs to be CG. It's got to reach out and do shit.
Ron's really doing the work.
I mean, how are you going to get the baby to do? I don't know. They could have used the real baby. I don't know. But the baby fucking brings her back to life. Wild. A pretty fun moment. And then, it ends with them back on the TV show, except this time their alerts go off and they got to run down the hallway. And then I did love the bit where they couldn't get the baby seat in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very relatable.
That was really long, too.
Very relatable.
I did find that funny.
So at the end, really, Galactus isn't dead. He's gone. And
you've got to imagine he got shut. He went to our universe, or the main Marvel cinema.
Well, does that thing transport people between universes or just in the same universe? We don't know.
Well, where was it? What was Reed's plan? He was going to transport the Earth to another star or another universe?
Yes, to somewhere a billion miles away where Galactus would take million of years for him to find them. Or something.
The logic on that, to get transported to another Earth, you would.
He said he found a similar star.
It's not. There's nothing ever going to be the same. So you'd be rolling the dice with how far you have to be from the sun, and yeah.
I mean, I
guess I shouldn't think about it.
I mean, you can't think about it because if you're pulling this planet that's moving at how many hundreds of miles an hour or whatever out of orbit into another sun's orbit, that's not going to work.
I'm just thinking if you can do that, you can pretty much do anything to Galactus.
Right?
You can move a fucking whole planet. You can move a thing the size of a building.
Well, look, at the end, 828 is saved. The Fantastic Four are still there, and they fly off to the next adventure. And then we get this amazing post-credits.
No one thinks to make a big weapon to, shoot him with it. Nothing.
Shoot Galactus?
Yeah.
I mean, Sue just
make him go explodey.
Pushed him back. I did like when he was, opening the portals on the back, and that kind of hurt him, and his, fluid was coming out or whatever that was. That was a good idea. But Galactus took them all out, and it had to be Sue. Anyways, post-credit scene, 4 years later, Franklin's little child, and Sue walks away to get a book and comes back, and there's a dude in a green cloak holding a mask, talking to fucking Franklin. Geek boner. Shit. Apparently, Matt Shackman maybe has confirmed this. I watched the video, and it was a weird confirm that is indeed Robert Downey Jr. But you don't see his face, so it could be anybody. So my question was, this is a Doctor Doom. Which Doctor Doom is this? What do you guys think?
Oh, it's got to be Robert Downey Jr.
So the Doctor Doom we're going to meet is from this universe, or maybe he came to this universe. But
I think he's from this universe. I think that's the whole point of the alternate reality or alternate universe.
And then it makes so much sense that he wants Franklin, who can create reality and universe as his will, use him in the comics. He uses Molecule Man to recreate reality. Maybe Franklin himself can do it. Maybe he needs a couple of other people. But I thought this worked, and it perfectly teased what's to come.
Yeah, no, it's a good button, right? That's exactly where they're built. Similar to in Thunderbolts, where it built to the next movie. This one's building to the next movie.
Oh, let's talk about that, because we saw in Thunderbolts, we saw the ship in their universe. I think we all thought that was going to happen in this movie. It does not happen.
No.
In this movie, that is yet to be decided what's going on there. But, Ruggs, what'd you think of that one? And then the second post-credit scene was, did anybody wait for that? It was just
I did, but we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah. What do I think about Doctor Doom being in it?
Yeah. Did your audience pop? My theater went crazy at that post-credit.
Yeah, everybody was freaking out.
That was great.
It was a moment. It's definitely Robert Downey Jr., and I don't know what his deal is. I have this theory in my head that maybe Howard Stark got down with some Lardavarian chick, and she had a very much looking like Tony Stark child. Yeah, that hates America because his dad's a dick and didn't raise him. And he became a maniacal genius. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's my theory.
Yeah. All right.
Will I be right? That's the question.
Any other comments? Let's give it a score. Final thoughts. I do have some ranking categories after we give our scores. Anthony.
Final thoughts? Are you guys saying?
Yeah.
Final thoughts? Yeah. I mean, listen, this is a very solid movie. Like I've said a few times now, I don't have a lot of criticisms of it. I think the choices they made throughout with setting it where they set it, how they paced it, what they focused on, the set design, like all that stuff showed that this director and Marvel overall had a vision for this movie and they executed on it. They didn't worry about tying this into anything. They just said, let's make a good story about a family. And, you know, we've done a lot of found family type stuff, but we've never actually had a superhero family story. And we focused on this and we decided to tie in the fact that this family is having a child and this child is directly connected to the villain of the story. So all those things were really good. I wasn't, let's say, blown away, but I was just pleasantly surprised that this is another good Marvel film. And yeah, I think my rating on this movie would be a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, interesting. Okay, Ruggs. Final thoughts. Give me a number.
I'll echo all the things that Anthony said. It's not a perfect film. It's got some wacky stuff, which we've talked about. Human Torch figuring out the language, the whole idea of transporting the Earth and all that stuff, all kind of wacky stuff that didn't kind of make any sense. But you go along with it because everything else is working really well. And even though it's not an action-packed film and it moves at its pace, I think that all that stuff builds to great moments that actually pay off. And you actually feel like you're involved. You feel like you have some skin in the game when you're watching this. You feel like you want them to win. And it works. Yeah. It works like a movie should. Now, that's like a low bar that Marvel has not been able to do.
Yes. Right.
I mean, we're giving high marks for things that every movie should do when they have $200 million invested in them and the weight of a company like Disney behind it. But now we're kind of like patting them on the back for just making a good movie. It's a good movie. Yeah. I liked it. I'm going to give it a 7.5 as well.
Okay. Yeah. No, I had a great time. It is kind of crazy where this is the first like regular like nuclear family that's in a Marvel movie. And I think that's kind of what makes it like fresh in a weird way. I found it very fresh and different. And this world was amazing to dive into. Everybody did a great job. Similar. I have very nitpicky things, but I just had a good time. It was satisfying. It's a complete, story, self-contained, very satisfying. I'm going to give this I want to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. Now, here's some ranking categories. The first one I think is very easy. Can we all agree that this is the best Fantastic Four movie out of all the Fantastic Four movies, right? It's a low bar. But they went
very low bar.
They went above, just clearing that bar, I would say. I loved all the Easter eggs and the cameos and stuff, and you could look all that up. I was going to mention it. Whatever. Ruggs, you said something interesting about what you felt about this movie, so I thought we could do how do you feel this movie post Endgame? There's been 14 movies since Endgame. So I won't read them all. I got a list here, but we have such heavy hitters in here as Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Deadpool and Wolverine. But then you got clunkers in here like the Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. You also have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Give me this ranking. Who wants to go first? Where do you think it lands here?
Oh, I think it's the best movie since Endgame.
See? Wow. Holy shit. That's why I brought this up.
Yeah.
The best since Endgame. Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
I think No Way Home is like No Way Home because think about it. There's all of these gimmicks. Like No Way Home is a gimmick.
Yes.
I don't know.
Wolverine, gimmick.
Even Thunderbolts is kind of gimmicky, but Marvel's terrible movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, okay. Thor: Love, everything else is terrible.
Yeah.
So I think it's the best since Endgame.
Anthony, what are some of the best of these post Endgame to you?
Post Endgame, so I have my list here. Post Endgame, I'll read you where I have everything. No Way Home is still my favorite.
Okay.
Because of the experience. I would, if you want to grade it on a movie, Fantastic Four is better, and I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah.
So I have it as No Way Home, Guardians 3, Deadpool, Wolverine, Thunderbolts, and then I have Fantastic Four
Oh,
next.
interesting.
Yeah. But I have,
it is at the
I know
top.
you're going to ask this, so I'll just spoil it now.
Okay.
Fantastic Four of the 37 films, I have it 14th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's by Thunderbolts, Captain America versus Avengers, where I have it at.
Man, I didn't really think about that, but that seems right. I was like, does it crack top 15? I think so. And I was like, I don't know about top 10. But look, out of the post-Endgame for me, I'll completely admit, No Way Home, Deadpool, Wolverine, complete gimmicks, nostalgia bait, whatever. I love it. I think that it's a good time. And it was also for the theater experience. And then, geez, I think I would do the same. I would do Guardians, and then I would do Fantastic Four, and then Thunderbolts, maybe. But it is one of the better movies since post-Endgame. Absolutely. And I just hope they continue this direction. Okay, here's the big one. Last ranking category. The July 2025 movies. We had Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, Fantastic Four. I feel like I can easily say who the number 3 one is for all of us. Can we agree on that?
Jurassic World.
Correct. Anthony?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jurassic World.
Okay, now the big question. Anthony, you go first. Where do you put these first two? The other two.
Oh, easy for me. Fantastic Four and then Superman.
Okay. That didn't take you long to answer. Rugs.
Yeah, it's easy. This one just felt like things paid off. Things felt better. Things made more sense. Yeah. It worked as a film, and it was about family. Vin Diesel notwithstanding. It was about family, a nuclear family, a father who loves his child, and you don't see that much in the movies.
They put Vin Diesel in this. It's a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
So for me, both movies are very, very even in my head. I think Superman had the better jokes. I think Fantastic Four maybe had the better production design, CGI. I did like the focused storytelling in Fantastic Four. So I think for me, it's going to edging out Superman just by a little bit is Fantastic Four I would put on top. But they're very close.
I don't think it's that close.
You don't think it's that close?
No, I'm sorry. I think Fantastic Four is a much better film than Superman.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking about how I felt like watching both movies, and it was very similar. I was just giddy and smiling.
When I was watching this movie, Imran, I was like, whoa, they're making a movie.
They're making a real movie.
When I watched James Gunn Superman, I was like, wow, this is like a really bad TV show.
Okay. Okay, I can see that.
Like,
yeah.
It just had the quality of it was just,
yeah.
It felt like I was watching Peacemaker.
Yeah, no, it is it is a Fantastic Four confident movie in the production and the tone. And even though there was 4 writers, you had Max Chapman said he wanted to do Stanley Kubrick meets Jack Kirby, and I think he pulled that off. I think he gave us that. So just the vision with the music and the look and setting it, all these decisions, it is kind of like a singular vision with Kevin Feige's help and 4 writers. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be happening again for a while.
Yeah,
Marvel. I don't know. We'll see.
They don't have a lot of movies coming out.
No.
The next 2 years, they only have 3 movies coming out.
So the next superhero movie we're going to get won't be till next year, Supergirl, and then from Marvel, Spider-Man and Avengers.
My take on all of this
is going to get a break.
Is that Superman kind of didn't really give me a lot of confidence in the DC universe that's coming.
Okay. But
this gives me a glimmer of hope.
Whoa! Wow,
that is crazy.
When I listened to Rugs on Patreon, plug for Patreon.
Yeah,
I was at the airport. I was eating in the food court. And I went, "What?
He spit his food
likes
out.
This movie?"
Yeah, me too.
And now he's saying things, and I'm going, "Whoa!"
But I can see that, and I can almost agree with that. It's like this got me really excited. Also,
I feel the same way for what it's worth.
Superman did get me excited for like where things are going, but man, so much shit happens in that movie.
You know what it is? It just felt like they cared a little bit more about this movie than the other movies that have come out.
Yes,
and they made sure that things worked.
Yeah.
And even the far-fetched shit and the stuff that's going to be hard to swallow when you watch this movie, I think they did enough that you'll give it a pass.
No, this is what they needed to do after getting the taste of the Bob Iger too much shit a taste out of our mouth, and just make a solid good movie and show us that like we're back to making quality and focusing on things. And this is exactly what they needed to do, and they fucking pulled it off. One last thing, we did talk about the July 2025 box office battle. And the Jurassic World Rebirth is unfair, but I'm just going to do their 3-day. So coming in last is Rebirth with a $92 million 3-day total. It did make 146 on the 5-day.
Again, this comparison is faulty to start.
Okay,
but go about the numbers.
Between Superman and Fantastic Four, Superman wins the box office battle, the 125 million domestic opening, just by a little bit. 118 for Fantastic Four.
I mean, it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's very close. But
also Superman, I mean, two things. Superman came out first before it.
Yes.
Also, Superman, we all agree, is a bigger name than Fantastic Four.
Absolutely. Yes. And I feel like the more families that were skewing towards Superman than this movie, even though it was kind of a family movie. But, okay, final question. Is Marvel back? Anthony.
I think it's too early to say.
Okay.
I think it's nice to see that Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, which from everything I've seen weren't cut up to a million times like Brave New World. It seems like this Iger's said we're going to focus more on quality than quantity, right? So you're getting these Ironheart. I don't even count that even because that was made 2 years ago.
Yeah.
If they continue with the direction they have now, where they're just focused on the movies and the stories within the movies, like that's the right approach. I don't have the hype that I had still for like Doomsday that I would have had for Infinity War or anything like that, but I feel better about where things are. I feel better that they've shown with these last two, because I like Thunderbolts more for what it's worth.
Okay.
And as for I said that in my rankings, but I like both. I like that they've shown that they can bounce back a little bit and learn from their mistakes and be like, okay, we can still make a good film. I do agree with Ruggs. The bar is really low, so we are patting them on the back for things that, in phase 2 and 3, it was just a given that they would have made a good film. Yeah. But now it's a surprise. Yeah. So they because of their shittiness, they've weaned us to like something.
They've lowered the bar.
They've lowered their own bar, isn't it? Yes.
But hey, if they keep clearing the low bar that they've cleared, I'm more than happy to go and watch movies like this.
Yeah, I would say it's not back, but it's heading in that back direction.
Yeah, well, this is my thought process on this. I gave it a 7.5, so that's not like the best score you can give, right? But the idea is that Marvel's not going to have a lot of opportunities to do what they did in this movie in other movies, because this was a alternate universe, self-contained story. Right. These characters are not dealing with the Marvel lore that they've set up, that has all this baggage with it, and that they've screwed up, stuff that they didn't have the characters for, all that stuff. They might be able to do this when they do an X-Men movie.
Right. That's something they might have to do similar.
Like in an alternate universe, whatever. But I feel like with Doomsday and all of this Secret War stuff, they're gonna step all over themselves. So I don't know if we're gonna see a movie like this again. I think this is like a unicorn that happens because for some reason everything just was right. They had a alternate universe, a fresh start, a retro futuristic thing that separates it from everything else. Yeah. All of that stuff, that all helped the movie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If you put this in the regular Marvel universe where you have all of these things that went wrong already, right? Like the fact that they didn't have X-Men from the get-go and all that stuff, and they're gonna have to try and sandwich and make these things work. Things that they've already blown and burnt. Captain America is now gone, and Iron Man's now gone, and all that other stuff. So like that's going to be more clunky. That's going to be harder to make pay off. You have the stupidest Spider-Man that ever existed in that world. You have everything like that's not working in the real Marvel universe. So I feel like this is a outlier.
Yeah, you may not see something like this until like a full X-Men movie, but clearly where it's heading is they're going to fuck everything up, bust up all of reality and blow it up and put it back together, and the OGs will be recast. You'll have some of the same people from before.
Like, how does Marvel
will be X-Men
get a clear win like this one when they have all that other baggage?
A lot of baggage. They just got blow it up. That's it.
You know what? I was just going to say, they've already hinted at it, and they probably will reset the universe.
They're going to break all their realities and shove them back into one new thing. It's like they do in the comics. It's like DC does every few years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of desperate, but that's kind of where they've left themselves. They've ridden themselves that way, and that's what Secret Wars is for. It's a perfect vehicle for that. So it should be pretty crazy.